Hey everyone, it's Jaya, and the question sent in today is, how can I have a threesome? So I always have more questions when somebody sends in a question. And my first question would be, well, what is it about a threesome that really turns you on? Why do you want to have a threesome? Maybe you've been fantasizing about having a threesome for a long time. And one thing I think that's really important about fantasy is to denote, is it better as a fantasy, or is it something you really want to live out? And so that would be my first question to you. Is this something that might just be better as a fantasy, or is it something that you really want to do? You don't always have to take action on something that's a big fantasy for you. It might be better in your mind. Now, if you're going to approach having a threesome, you have to talk a lot outside of the bedroom. If you're in a relationship, this would be something to bring up to your partner. Hey, I've been having this fantasy. I feel really vulnerable telling you this. I'm wondering what you think about it. Another way to bring it up might be, I've been hearing about people having a lot of threesomes lately. How do you feel about that? What do you think about that? And start that conversation, open up the box and start talking about what that would mean, what that would look like. Start playing with it as a fantasy in your bedroom and not actually living it out. You might find that that actually brings a lot of heat into your relationship. Now, if you're single and you're wanting a threesome, this might be a little bit more challenging to find other people who want to go about this. You might want to try sex positive groups. You might want to try people who are having parties where this might be more of something that would be available to you in that environment. And it's about really communication. So how you go about it is, I'd like to have a threesome. And that would be a way to just open up the conversation and say, and here's what I imagine about it. Here are my expectations. Here are my boundaries. What are your boundaries? So that when you're in that environment, you aren't having the expectations that you've had, maybe if you've had this fantasy, crushed. For example, if you had the fantasy of the other two people are giving you all the attention and you're the one receiving all the pleasure. That's a much different threesome than, say, a threesome where someone is watching you make love to someone else. Or maybe it's about another person that you and your partner are giving all the pleasure to. So it's important to talk about these things and really unravel, what are your expectations? What are your desires? What does a threesome look like to you? So that those things aren't unraveled or there isn't a lot of drama after you've already done it or you're in the midst of it and things aren't turning out the way that you expected them to. All right, that's just the tip of the iceberg on how to have a threesome, but I wanted to give you some guidelines just to get started. Okay, until next time, fill your life with pleasure.